y'all hit that notification bell. Shout out to those that's on the Facebook. Salute to those who's on the YouTube. Yeah. Let the room fill up. We got to. All right. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. All right. One way or another. All right. I see you. Yeah. Mark, what's good? You're alive like 95. All right. So in life, there's always, and I mean absolutely always, something to come about, man. And I really appreciate you all. Thank you all for being part of this mix, man. What happened here is basically I lost everything. I'm talking about absolutely all of my graphics, all of my computers, or AI. When you guys make the donation to help support the nation, the little robot is gone. I had to start all the way from scratch to put my logo behind me. And it's crazy, Cowboy Nation. And I had to start from scratch. I had to do everything as relates to this thing from scratch, man. And I'm sitting here like, oh, my goodness, I had a show lined up. It was going to be so dope, man. And at least I got my box back up now. But it literally, I had to start everything from A to Z. And I still got to work on some things because the writing is even small now. So I'm going to have to edit that part out. And it's all about making adjustments. And speaking of adjustments, Jason Garrett is now a New York Giants head coach. And not head coach, I'm sorry. Offensive coordinator. And what I was trying to get into was the fact that technically, before I try to fix up everything, technically, I was saying that it's going to be Jason Garrett versus Kellen Moore. And we know that since week 3 or week 4, something like that, the whole schematics changed a little bit. And it didn't look the same. One can argue and say, well, hey, Jason Garrett said, hey, I want to start calling some plays or installing some things. Remember, what we see from the surface is a whole lot different than what goes on into those meetings. And I'm one to believe that, the change started on Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays. And there's a quote actually from my guy Jesse Holly, lamenting the same thing, that player execution, players that give up on the team normally it doesn't happen on Sundays. It normally happen on Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays when they're not feeling the same groove anymore, you see. So that's what happened with that side of the story. But what we're going to do is I'm a night owl. So for those who's not used to the show, my name is Law Nation, LAW Nation, and you can also support the nation, man. I really appreciate you. Like Natasha, you see the little star logo, and Skeptical Fan, really appreciate you with individual joining of the elite situation. We have an elite clause, whereas everybody's elite. I'm not putting one person higher than the other. We do this for fun, and let's just get into it. I want to show you all a little deal right here from the fact room. I always got to pull up the facts room, and this is from my guy Mike Fisher. He was going over some things, and he was pointing out this right here about Jason Garrett. It went over here and it says Giants judge, that's their new coach or what have you, on offensive coordinator Garrett notes that how great of a teacher he is and how his perspective of the game was thorough or through a different lens than most. And then he says, and when he sees it, he's able to comment and paint a picture or mental image of the players, and he does the fantastic job of making in-game adjustments. Now, this is from the coach from the Patriots, what have you, the new Patriots young youth coach. My thing is, it's not for me to sully or denigrate Jason Garrett, because I'm with the belief that Jason Garrett probably be a better offensive coordinator than there, I say, of a head coach, because of the simple fact that he is a players type of person, meaning that there's really very few players that really look at Jason Garrett awkwardly. You see, they look at him like, hey, he's the voice of reasoning as it relates to man philosophy, as it relates to fatherhood and how to raise your family, and what the do's and the don'ts, when you're going to lean more so on the do's aspect of it. So I look at those parameters. But he's not that guy that's going to galvanize or chastise or brutalize the player. Shout out to you, Raymond, man. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in on the late night show, man. Really appreciate you. So that's what's going on with that. Let me just see what people are saying within the context of it. People they're gonna Judge wasn't watching, I guess, the Dallas Cowboys football in 10 years. They talking about the coach, fantastic job of making in-game adjustments. And look at this guy right here. That got to be the dopest meme of the last decade, right? That meme right there goes hard in the paint, right? It does, right? That meme goes so hard, man. Thus, be the news, 8-8 Cowboys. My thing is, we look at it like 8-8 is just low-hanging fruit for us. But I can guarantee you, like the Giants, if they can go 8-8 for multiple years, they say, hey, that's good. That's good stuff for us, you see. And even if the Jets, although they're in a different conference, but they still in New York, if they can just be perennial teams to go 8-8, 8-8, man, they would love that. So we look at things that 8-8, 9-7, that's bad for us, because we are the mighty Dallas Cowboys. And we're going to fix this thing one way or another. Ain't this right, Cowboy Nation? So that's what I'm talking about. Really appreciate you, man. Thank you for the donation to help grow the nation, man. Unfortunately, like I said, I had to start all the way over, so it doesn't give me any notification when you do make that. And I will be trying to put that code in so that when people make the donation to help grow this thing, that I can get some type of notification. But Skeptical Fan, he says, hey, Garrett would take the Giants to a Super Bowl. Hey, it could quite possibly happen, but I don't want it to happen on our watch. And if anybody can know anything about Mike McCarthy, he owns Jason Garrett, you say. He do. He own him. So we will see how this thing can work out. My thing is, my objectively speaking, what Jason Garrett will bring to the New York Giants is that they will be a run-first team. They will have some tight end packages. They do have a Evan Ingram, who I think that is a dog out there. So they would center around maybe a 12 personnel look. They would start using Saquon Barkley more. And on top of that, if you can really look at Daniel Jones, and this is no shade, this is not no overhype, however you want to put this from left to right, Daniel Jones is a poor man's Tony Romo. Can run the ball elusively. When Tony Romo was within his first few years, he was a guy that can evade and elude or what have you. So one can argue that Daniel Jones is the poor man's Tony Romo at this point. And think about this. Jason Garrett ties at Duke and North Carolina and all of those areas, being on the east side. He used to always go to those games, whether it be North Carolina or Duke. So he got a chance to probably have some personal relationship with Daniel Jones, dare I say. Daniel Jones had a little spark of a wave this rookie year. People was looking at him like, hey, not that bad, Daniel Jones, you see. But he did fold it up towards the latter part of the season. I think he had some quirky injuries and things like that. What up, Montana 808, man? Really appreciate you. Next season should be interesting. What I was trying to get into before I had to end the other screen was the first game of the year. We always play the Giants, right? We always face the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants. And I'm with the belief that they need to restructure the division, but so much money comes from the Dallas Cowboys helping out the people that's on their east side, meaning that we help out the New York Giants for ratings. I guarantee you my bottom dollar. That New York Giants game versus the Dallas Cowboys game is going to be one hell of a rating show. You see, shout out to you, Pablo. Really appreciate you, Adam. Thank you for tuning in. Robert as well. So, and who else we got? Oh, Big Bear. What's good with you, fam? So it's always going to be one of those shows where they hype up, they pump up, and who would they say going to be the focal point of the attention? Mike McCarthy. They're not even going to talk about Judge, whatever his first name is. They're not even going, Joe Judge, I believe. Joe Judge. They're not even going to talk about him. He's at this point a nobody. They're going to be looking at Jason Garrett. They're going to have Jason Garrett versus Mike McCarthy. Week 1 is going to be the highest rating game. They're not even going to talk about the Super Bowl champions. It's going to be the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants. That's just how it goes. They love to keep Big D in their mouths. And we help out and support the whole East Coast. The Washington Redskins. They wouldn't be talking about them if it wasn't for the Dallas Cowboys. The Philadelphia Eagles. They wouldn't be talking about them unless they playing against the Dallas Cowboys. You look up the Philadelphia Eagles and you look at the comparables of the market share of the ratings that the Cowboys forked out. I guarantee you their highest rating game for last year, 2019 through 2020, would be the Dallas Cowboys game. And you can go on back and back and back and back. But the market should be, all the Cowboys and all Jerry Jones and all the NFL should do is remove the Panthers out of their division and just swap us. Just swap us. I would love to play the Saints twice a year. I would love to play the Atlanta Falcons twice a year. It would be more Cowboys fans in those collective stadiums, but we want to hang on to tradition, right? We're going to hang on to that. 8-8 not great, Natasha. This is Natasha. Yes, 8-8 not great. By Cowboy standards, it's not. But if the Cincinnati Bengals can go 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, boy, they would be looking at it like, yes, hallelujah, Or even though they had a good season this year and made it to the playoff, if the Buffalo Bills can maintain 8-8 every year, boy, they'd be laughing and saying, okay, we good. Yes. Montana 808 says those are the facts. So that's the reality of it. That's the reality. And to me personally, I want to play teams at their best. Regardless of who they are, I still want to play teams at their best. I never wish for injury, but it's just crazy because nobody with 2 eyes or 4 eyes, even to have glasses on, or with a brain and a mouth with 2 ears, can ever expect, you see what I'm saying, the Dallas Cowboys, centrally where they located at, to be representing for the East. You see, there's nobody that can identify east of Texas. You see what I'm saying? Texas is in the West, Midwest, if anything. But and then the geographic part of it is that also Texas is pretty much south of everything. So we would love to see that. I would love to actually play the Saints twice a year. I would love to play the Atlanta Falcons twice a year. And I think that collectively, if you think about it, even the climate and the way the Cowboys are heading to, we are a dome type of team. We play better inside the dome. Believe it or not. And that's just how it goes. Can we draft Ken's Law? This is from Cabin. Yeah, that would be nice if we do, man. That's my guy, man. I would love to see him in this type of system. He would put you in the mindset of David Irvin, minus the issues. But before we talk about the draft and these sorts of things, you guys good? You guys okay? Don't take no coffee because you'll be up all night. Shout out to you, Cash. Shout out to you, Justin's. He says, what's good, Law? What are the true thoughts about trying to make another run at Jamal Adams? I would have to see this right quick. The free agency is right around the corner. The Shriner Bowl is tomorrow, so I can't wait to watch that, you see. And we got to look at some of these players that's going to come out of the draft too. But the free agency period is right around the corner. So what we want to do is there's two folds in the free agency era. On the front end, there's a free agency period where you can pick up a few guys that you really have love and adulations on. And then it may change your draft board because you can say, well, I made my move for my guy. And then there's the draft. The draft goes out and they get the people that they think they want. They cut the veteran because they look at it and say to themselves, we no longer need this old weight. So we're going to cut bait and we're going to figure out with this young guy. And now you have some veterans out there. But speaking of that, let's just pull up the top 50 free agencies, if that's okay with you all. You guys got some time. I got some energy. I got some energy. I don't have to be at work tomorrow, right? So let's pull up this thing, man. Let's see what we got. All right, so this will be the top 50 free agent list. And here are the guys. According to age, of course, according to position, what they can play. And if you look at number 49, I would not have no highlighter, but I hope you guys can zoom in on your phones or you can zoom in on your laptop, however you're watching, or on your tablet. And number 50, they got Gerald McCoy. What would the Cowboys look like with a 32-year-old? I was looking at Gerald McCoy for last season for a one-year rental. I thought that we could make move on him. But as it relates to the current team, I'm like, no way. I don't want him. He's too old for me, for my liking. You see what I'm saying? So let's look at number 49, Robert Quinn, the Cobra man, the 4-3 defensive end, Dallas Cowboys. His age is 30. I would bring him back for a cup of coffee. I'll say, hey, Robert Quinn, we didn't like your services last year. We flat out love your services, you see. So I will bring him back. Shout out to you, Natasha. She said it shows good on your end. Okay, great. I don't want to hurt your eyes. Jared McCoy. Yeah, he's getting long in the tooth. Shout out to you, Cole and Kenny Tucker. Yeah, he's getting long in the tooth. So let's look at Trey Boston. He's 28. He's still right in that age range where you can get probably 2 to 3 years good play out of Trey. He's a safety, of course. Everybody loves safety. We need safeties. Clinton Dix, he's right at that cusp of the age of 27. He didn't have like a spectacular collective years as it relates to playing because my thing is you can probably find somebody in the draft that's going to be equivalent to a Clinton Dix, but have a higher ceiling. I think that and it seems like I'm laughing like off the guy off of Family Guy, or off of Bart Simpson, whatever that guy name. You remember that guy? My thing is he's 27. Let's just move on from him. He bounced to too many teams at this point, you see. He man on everybody's team at this point. So something is wrong with him. All right, so I like Logan Ryan. He's 29. I think that you can still squeeze 2 to maybe 3 good years off of him. DJ Humphries, I just don't know for sure from him. Let's see what we can just pull up a little bit and see who named is really popping out to me. Do you guys like a Kenyon Drake? I like a Kenyon Drake. I like his skill sets, but we already got that. We already have a quote unquote Tony Pollard, but it won't be bad to have 3 of them, you know. And I think that more running backs that you can have that can play special teams and beyond can be a good situation for us. McCourty, Devin, he's 33. That would be some veteran situation with that for Devin McCourtney. I would move on with that. I think that you can probably find somebody in the draft to develop. Trey Waynes, I like his skill set. You see number 37, if you can read that. I like a Trey Waynes. I would love to see him out there. Jordan K says, Clinton Dix sucks. Yeah. No more names. Let me see. Teddy Bridgewater. It seems like the Saints put like a tender offer on him, so that's why you see that void there. Anthony Harris, he would be a guy that I would really want. Anthony Harris, number 30, if you can see that on your list. I would love to see number 30 or number 37 on his team. Either one. Let me just go up a little bit more. It stops right here. Jack Conklin, I don't know about him. I don't really know if an offensive tackle would be the groove. But I can tell you this. These two, 29 and 28, I want you guys to look at those names. Austin Hooper, and Hunter Henry. Let's do some research on those guys. Y'all cool with that? Y'all want to do some research? Y'all want to do some research for the nation? Let's pull up Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, if that's okay with you all. We're going to pull them up, and we're going to take a real good we're going to take a real good look at them. I think that they will be some good guys that you can match up and pair up with my guy, Jarwin. I think that will be the best move, the best groove for us, and we're gonna pull up that right quick, if that's okay, Let's pull them up right quick, Cowboy Nation, and we'll see what we got in store with this particular skill set and what his stats were, what his market value will be, according to Spoke Track. That's you can go to that same link. It's spoketrack.com. I'm gonna post a link in the description box, or I'm post a link in the chat box. Here we go. That way you guys can play around with it as well. All right, so and shout out to Spoke Track, man. If you guys got a feedback session there, you can hit him up. So his market value is $8.9 million. So it's like a 4-year, $35 million. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Let's see what he brought to what he was able to bring to the table last year, respectively. Let's see what he brought to the table. And we'll read Jordan Reese and all that stuff. So he played in 12 games, targeted 76 times, received 55 balls, 652 yards. That's probably more than what Jarwin did this year. I think he was a primary tight end. And I think that also the 11.9 yards per catch, that's not nothing to sneeze at. And I'm looking at the previous year of 4 touchdowns, and then the this year, we're pretty much this season, he had 5. So I think at the age of 25, going into his 3rd year, I think if the Chargers don't make a play on him, then I'll scoop him up. But how do you guys feel with all of that? Transitional tag for Jones, yes. Hooper has been okay as well. What's his name? Austin Hooper, right? Let's see what he's about. Let me see if I can put that in there. Hope I spelled the man's name right. There we go. So he's 25 as well. Let me see what his market value is. It should be right at the same. Okay, so he's a little bit higher. So that means his production level is a little bit higher. 5-year, 49, and that's based off of Kelsey's contract. And he was 26 at the time. Jordan Reed contract, crazy contract for that kid. He stayed injured. And, of course, Zach Ertz. And we remember Trey Burton. He got that deal for Chicago. They paid some crazy money for that kid. Let's look at his stats, though. This would paint the real picture of everything. Stats. He was targeted 97 times, and I'm looking at the last 2 years, 71 and 75. That's not bad. There's nothing to sneeze at. He gave you 6 touchdowns this past season, 4 touchdowns the season before, and it looks like he gave you. What he gave you, he started in 10 games. The other guy started in 12, and this season he started in 7 games, but he played in 16. So, um, man, it looks like he's on an upward spiral. It looks like he's increasing every year. You know how his targets went from 27 to 65 to 88 to 97. His receptions went up. His receiving yards went up. This still is in the average area for him. So it looks like Atlanta may not let this kid go. Cowboys need to take away next year. This is from Jonathan Durbin. Yeah, he don't turn the ball. This is from Cole. Henry will be a few better than Hooper. Henry will be a few better. Oh, so Henry, you like Henry over Hooper? Oh, okay. Not bad at all, Cowboy Nation. So when we look at this free agency period, is always a situation where we can find guys. All right, so what we want to do now is look at the second tier of free agency. Let's pull this up. That's the first tier. Let me see if I can pull this one up right here before we go to the first tier. Here we got Chris Harris. We know that we love turnovers and takeaways. He's 31 years old, and he is a dog. I don't know. He's probably be on a downward spiral. He's probably be on one of those situations where he didn't do a lot for you. But at 31 years old, can you squeeze a year and a half out of him? Can you put him on a 1-year rental? Can you take a real good look at him for 1 year? Emmanuel Sanders. Everybody, mama, uncle, cousin, knew that the 49ers won when they picked him up. When they was able to snatch him up onto the scene, they got a good situation out of him because of the fact that he's a veteran guy. In and out of his breaks is just fantastic and nasty. I like seeing that, and he might play in the Super Bowl. I think that the 49ers just beat the Packers earlier this season, so they might give the Packers a run for their money on Sunday. Jameson, anybody in a Jameson sweepstake? Jameson's 26 years old. Still got a lot of football left in him. A whole lot of football left in him. Do you guys pick up Jameson? And you say, okay, Jameson, we got you on a 1-year deal. We're going to throw $22 million at you, and you're going to put some fire on the Dak Prescott. What do you guys think about that, huh? Oh, my goodness. Bradbury, he's 27. He's still young. I like the Justin Simmons kid. I think that safety from the Denver Broncos, number 26. He's 26 years old. Let me look up Justin's right quick because I think that he did pretty good in his years with the Denver Broncos. Let's see what Justin did, man, and we will see what he's a free safety. Yes, he's 26 years old from Boston College. I think what his market value is. His market value, we can't afford that market value. Yeah, if we had this type of production from our safety, we'll make a statue in his name. we would flat out put a statue in his name. You know what I mean? We will. We'll put a statue in the kid's name because of that, Let me see if I can hide all this and move this out the way so you guys can see what I'm talking about. If we had a guy that gave us some turnovers like this, 4 INTs this year, 3 last year, 2 in 2017, 2 in 2016. I mean, we will probably make a statue in his name. We'll make a relic or something. We'll say, hey, man, this guy know how to get turnovers and takeaways. Well, we'll see how this new philosophy will go, Cowboy Nation. But the reality of it is that we don't get a guy that can give us multiple interceptions. Let me see what the chat is talking about. Are you guys in favor of Justin? Chris, dude, are you serious? He says, let's go get Tom Brady. No, we'll check out Tom Brady in a few. Justin Simmons had a private workout with the Cowboys He did. When did he had the private workout? Open Mind Movie Man. That's a cold blooded name. Open Minded Movie Man. Did he have a private workout with the boys? I mean, he would be a solid pickup. But the thing that we might run from, let's look at the paper. Paper with that type of production. $14.4 million. It will be a 5-year contract with $72 million. Would you be willing to pay that much money for a 3-year starter? Pretty much 4-year now. He's 26 years old. So would you be willing to say, man, 2 tears in a bucket, pluck it, man. Let's just go ahead and get this kid and don't worry about drafting somebody. What if we get Ken Law and we put this kid back there as well? Keep in mind, he plays free safety. He's in the mind of Eddie Jackson's. I didn't know they re-signed Eddie Jackson. Okay. Kevin Byard, I meant to say, I'm sorry. 5 years, $70 million. The Honey Badger, Landon Collins, who robbed the bank. That brother done robbed the bank. Landon done robbed the bank. So they put him in this parameters because they said we selected the players based off their age, contract status, and stats production. So or statistical production basically. And that's how they came up with that number, 4-year length, 56. That's his value, 56 mil. So what do you guys feel about that? Let me type in this kid name right here, Xavier Woods. Let's type in this kid. Remember, he said he felt disrespected last year when we was going out there looking for a safety. He's 24 years old. He have 2 years of experience, 3 years now. This would be a contract year for him going around 2020. This would be one of those prove-it years. So that's why you don't have anything. So he's still under contract. But let's look at this thing. He had 2 interceptions this year, 2 interceptions last year as well. The tackles was 77, 55. The other guy had like 93 tackles or something like that. So what are you guys feeling? Will he be a massive upgrade over Xavier Woods, or you want to give Xavier Woods one more year to prove it to us? One more year. Dang, money going to be tight around those salaries. This is from Natasha. Brady was the man. Yeah, Rue Glock, he said was. That's the magical word, was the man, So, I mean, I like looking at these things, Cowboy Nation, because it make us look at everything from a different view, you see. We looking at everything objectively, too. So we're not sitting there saying, okay, this guy will be this guy will be that. So that's how we looking at it, man. We looking at it from the lenses of objective looking, So it's one of those things, man. Derrick Henry, we know for sure they're going to pay this man. They're going to pay him. I like Matthew Judon. He's 27. Leonard Williams, although he signed a 1-year rental with the New York Giants, do you reintroduce the Leonard Williams talk if they let him go? But I'm guaranteeing you that they won't let him go. Bud Dupree, Shaq Barrett is out there. Dante Fowler. I always call his man Flowers, but Fowler. Dante Fowler. Would you rather have him or the Armstead kid? Fowler or the Armstead kid? AJ Green for anybody. He's already 32. AJ Green is already 32. How did he get so old so quick? I thought he was like 28, something like that. He's 32. He's been in the league that long. AJ been in the league that long. It seems like, man, he was in purgatory for all of those years. My goodness, what a waste. What a waste of a career. He's 32 years old. My goodness. Man, he's been stuck on that team for too long. Somebody need to go grab AJ, man. Just for the sake of football, man. This is just flat out wrong, for him to be on that team in 32. Man. I didn't know AJ Green was 32. That got to be a wrong age right there. Do you guys think that that's wrong? You guys think that that age is wrong? Let me see. Let's pull up AJ Green right quick. Because a lot of people are like, look, cut Amari and get AJ because, Amari trash. I've been hearing that. And I thought that AJ was like along the lines of Amari. I mean, AJ is like 7 years older than Amari almost, if you look at it. And let's look at his market value as well. $9 million. 9 million. 2 year, 18 mil. Hell, we paid Cobb 8 for an extra mil. Would you rather have AJ Green or Randall Cobb? Y'all let me know. Or is he just too long in the tooth? Is that how you guys feel? 9-year pro from Georgia. So he's along the lines of his contract being around Emmanuel Sanders, Julian, Larry Fitz, Deshaun Jackson. Gosh. Man, time flies, man. I'm telling you it do. If he's healthy. See, he didn't play at all this year. Or past season, I meant to say. Not a good look for him, man. He didn't play at all. Did not play at all. Y'all looking at that stats right there? Yeah, didn't play at all. So that's the thing. Let me look at his previous year. 77 targets, 46. Man, my goodness, he didn't play. What he had 9 games in 2018. I mean, throughout his career, he was injured his first year, it looks like. Oh, no, he played his first year. They just didn't have the data there. He played 15 games. Had 165 receptions, not bad for a rookie season. And then he 16 games, 13 games, 16, 10, 16. Let me look at these snap counts. 1,648. It's a Russian roulette situation with AJ Green, Cowboy Nation, because now he's going to get a contract based off of reputation, or he's going to get a contract based off of, hey, my name, representation goes a long time, man. I can see AJ going to probably the Patriots or somebody like that. Shout out to your skeptical fan. He says good night. Well, it's good morning now, right? AJ will be 32 in July the 31st. Okay. Someone's 40 plus. Let someone 26 walk. What sense was that? That wouldn't be a lot of sense. Okay, yeah. Especially learning a whole new system and these sort of things. Not saying it can't be done, but I wouldn't do it, basically. Let's look back at this list, though. I just didn't know that AJ Green was that old, He's on the top of that list there. So my thing is I would lean on Fowler. I would bring him in for a cup of coffee and see what he's about. And I would really take a look at Armstead and see what he's all about and see whether or not what he's wanted to do. Let's look at this one right here. And this one is the top 10, the final 10 free agencies out here. Of course, number 10 is on this list is a Byron Jones. You have a Brandon Sheriff, and you have a Ryan Tannehill. For those who want Ryan Tannehill for some reason, you got a Yannick. I think that's how you say that man's name. You have Chris Jones, the defensive edge rusher, at 3-4. He's 27 years old. He came out the same year, I believe, Byron Jones. You got an Amari Cooper. He's number 5 on this list. And right above him, you have Davion Clowney. All right, then you have the 41-year-old Drew Brees. Do anybody want to take on Drew Brees for a cup of coffee? He still have a house, I think, in Austin or on the outskirts of Austin. He have a house on the outskirts of Dallas as well. You want to take a look at Drew Brees? Hmm? You got Tom Brady, and then you have the number one free agent for this year's Rain Dakota Prescott. What do you guys want? Who got three players in the freaking top 10? Cowboys. I didn't. That's some good observation, Cole. You can make some good observation for the nation. Jonathan said he will bring in AJ Green for a cup of coffee. Yeah, bring him in. Well, see what he can do. I mean, for anything, he would actually get some coverage rolled his way. All right, so you got Dak Prescott, you got Tom Brady, you got Drew Brees, top three quarterbacks. Dak Prescott will be 27. He's 26 at the moment. Somebody said that he turned down a $33 million contract. That's just a rumor. I don't know whether or not that's factual. Byron Jones, his market value is $14 million. I mean, would you rather let Byron Jones walk and pay the $14 million to the Justin Simmons kid? Josh Norman is trash. This is from Devontae Griffin. Yeah. He get burnt up too. Jay, what's good with you, man? Rich, just on the Facebook, man. I just want anyone who wants AJ Green to look at the last time he played a full 16 games. This is from Jay on my Facebook. Cole like bye-bye Jones. I say Cooper is 27. Man, Coop was injured all year. Yeah, Montana 808. Yeah, he was injured all year long. Who would you assign before Norman? You guys are really entertaining the Josh Norman situation. Who want Josh Norman? Coop is about to be 26 this year. Yeah, that age parameter is off, I believe, right? Amari Cooper. Let's see how old Amari Cooper is. Somebody got Google, right? We'll type that in and see how old Amari Cooper is. We'll just take a look. Let's look up Google. Amari Cooper. Because sometimes they have these ages on here wrong. I know he's not 32. We know he's not 32. Let's see. The age of Amari Cooper. Born June 17th, 1994. So for those who got the quick calculator, how old will he be? You know, that put him right at 25, right? If you read over here, let me see if we can put him at 25. So that thing way off. They gave him 2 years. They gave that man 2 years. But AJ Green is 32 though. Yeah, so that's the craziest thing. You see it over there now? So that's the weirdest thing to do, you know, to see. And let me just make sure. Let me make sure that AJ is not that old, you know. Let's see if he's wiki. There we go. I didn't know he's 6'4", 19 of 88. So he's 31. He'll be 32 on July 31st. So you're right. Y'all right. So we'll pull it right here. Yeah, you guys are right. So, I mean, it's always interesting to look at all of this stuff and see 26 before the season start. How do you think the Cowboys would bring in Drew Brees? I don't think that they'll bring in Drew Brees. I don't think the only way the Saints will get rid of Drew Brees unless I don't think that they would. I think that Drew Brees will have to pull a Brett Favre, you know. He would have to retire and then say, now, you know what, I would still want to play. And I think that Drew Brees, the New Orleans Saints love him too much. The state of Louisiana love him, really love him. I mean, they brought him in to speak on behalf of the LSU Tigers, you see. So I don't think that he's allowed to leave the building, and play for another team. I don't think that that will happen. I don't think that Tom Brady is going to play on another team. I think that the way the Colts handle the Peyton Manning situation, drafting Andrew Luck, and knowing that, the whole situation was kind of crazy, because I think that the Colts organically tanked or what have you, and by them doing that, allowed them to pick up Andrew Luck. They gambled right, because it was Andrew Luck or Robert Griffin, and they went with Andrew Luck, and it allowed, that ambiguity period, the unknown, the stubbornness, the foolishness, the unclearness of Peyton Manning's injury situation, by him sitting out that whole entire year, and by Peyton Manning being able to pick out his own team. And he purposely picked out the Denver Broncos because of, John Elway and the way they run the organization. He did his homework, and he knew that they had the most salary cap per se to go out there and get people and weapons and things like that. And he did a real OG move. I don't think that Drew Brees can think that far into the situation. So, and I think that the Saints would not sully and denigrate Drew Brees in that factor, you see. So I think that it is what it is. I think that Drew Brees will not put on another person's jersey. I think he's going to retire with that Saints jersey in mind. Yes, indeed. Really appreciate you all. Thank you all for tuning in for this late night episode. I'm broken up, man. I'm really broken down by my my stream, man, because I gotta put in all of the graphic works again, and it's a heck of a job to do it, man, to put all the graphics together. And I had a full-fledged show for you all that was going to be off the chain, but I really appreciate those who part of the notification bell, who hit that, and those who also support this channel from A to Z. I really appreciate you all. Thank those who are on my Twitter, Twitch, and as well as those on my Facebook page, man. I really appreciate each and every last one of you all. Get some rest, because I'm going to be ready for the Shriner game tomorrow. It should be on NFL. We're going to network, so if you have that channel, if you got Dish, it's 212, AT&T satellite. It's 212, channel 212. There's the NFL Network. I'll be looking at that game and seeing who will be the spotlight from those guys, and see if we can put some stuff out there, some good film, and see how and where these guys are going to get drafted at. Will McClay is heading down to Alabama to go over that series there that they have out there, and the Reese's Bowl, whatever you want to call it, the Senior Bowl, and hopefully Will McClay is going to get right on the horn and find somebody. There was a great interview with Coach Mike McCarthy that was on the Dallas Cowboys website today, so I want you guys to check that out. And he broke down the structure of the actual coaching philosophy on how he select his coaches. So that's some great insight. I had some of that excerpt already chopped up, but it's gone. So, but we will be back at it, man. Cowboy Nation. Don't forget to leave me your top 5 or top 10 draft candidates. I can't wait to see who you guys got into the mix. To me personally, I'm always looking at defense. Now, CeeDee Lamb, yes, we know about him, and Jerry Jeudy. If those guys drop, Jerry Jones, especially Jerry Jeudy, for so happened to drop, I think that Jerry Jones is going to look at it from a marketing aspect, and he's going to pull that guy. But outside of that, we would never know, man. The draft is always a fickle process. Also, Thaddeus Moss, if we don't find a tight end in this free agency period, we can go out there and maybe grab a Thaddeus in the 3rd or 4th round, depending on how he dropped. and it'll be nice to see him because we passed up on his father. You know how that go, Cowboy Nation. I would love to see a big body tight end next to a Blake Jarwin. We're going to have to re-sign him somehow. Shout out to you, Tyreek, man. Thank you for the $2, man. Really appreciate you. He says, if Jason Garrett mad at the Cowboys, is Jason Garrett mad at the Cowboys? He should be proud and happy of the Dallas Cowboys. They gave that man 9.5 years. He's been with the organization for 20-plus years. 13 of those years was with coaching in some form or fashion. So I think that Jerry Jones did Jason Garrett a huge favor on the job training, especially with the team that have the legacy that we have. The team, they get all of the glory. And you mean to tell me you're going to put a coach in training? Look, this team should have a prerequisites, meaning that every coach that ever tried to coach for the team either had to won something from somewhere, whether it be, and I'm not talking about being on the bench for crying out loud. That's how Jason Garrett got his 3 Super Bowls, whatever. I think he got 2 or 3. But I'm talking about must have done something at least in college or have done something in the NFL. This position is too glorified, too holy of a position as it relates to Dallas Cowboys in general. So what I'm saying is that we should never have a coach in training. We should never see this again in this history. We should never look back and say, okay, we like this guy, we're going to put him in training boots. No. Don't do that. Don't do it again, Jerry Jr., if he's going to be able to be taking the place of Jerry Jones or Stephen Jones, any one of those when Jerry is long and gone. Let's never do that again. How about that? Let's get some proven guys in here. I think, and I'm just going to talk about this right quick before I wrap this thing up. I'm going to do an hour, so it's 51 minutes, so I got 9 minutes with you all, if that's okay. My thing is, Cowboy Nation, when we look at it, when we look at this team collectively speaking, it's going to be Kellen Moore's second year. I'm on record saying that, hey, Kellen Moore, his first year as it relates to offensive coordinator, it wasn't trash. It wasn't trash. We saw some growth, growing pains, and we saw some growth out of it, you see. Now, my thing is, what McCarthy was saying is he think that Kellen Moore is a gem. He think that Kellen Moore is wise and smart. And the one person that you don't want to kick out of the door is Kellen Moore. You want to be able to pour upon your knowledge and see how you can elevate, because coaches coach and coaches also teach. A lot of people were saying this, is that, man, maybe it's the players. Maybe it's the players that can't grasp hold to what the coaching is trying to do. No. If anybody want to do a reference, I want to reference this thing right quick. There's this movie called Coach Carter. I said it when I was live with Big Game James. Coach Carter took that team, and of course they didn't win the complete championship. And I know that this is based off a true story, but movies make movies. But he took that team, and then Samuel Jackson played as the coach. But he took that team that had the exact same players the previous year and elevate them. Coaches look at players as individuals that they can achieve to make things grow out of them, you see. For those who had those hard-nosed coaches who demand a certain, level of expectation, they know how to pull the good things out of them and extract the weaknesses. And my thing is, what Jason Garrett does, and this is water under the bridge because he's no longer the head coach of our Dallas Cowboys, so we shouldn't be worrying about this. But what I'm thinking that what Jason Garrett does is that whatever talent that you came in at, you stay at, you see. And it's up to the other people, the other positionings to help develop from that standpoint. You see, the reason why Sean Payton was able to help out Tony Romo is because he saw something. He had to work with Tony Romo. Of course, that Bill Parcells was in the mix as well, but the collective reasonings with this is that Sean Payton was able to see something and elevate. I can only imagine what Sean Payton would do with the likings of a Dak Prescott, you see. And I know that he's coaching the Saints, but Mike McCarthy is the same similar person. And I know that he didn't help Joe Montana. but dog it, he helped out Steve Bono, Elvis Gerbach. He helped out Rich Gannon, Aaron Brooks. He helped out Aaron Rodgers. People fail to realize Aaron Rodgers wasn't throwing the way that he was throwing the ball when he first came into the league. He had throwing mechanics issues. I mean, he would stare down the receivers or what have you. But through the courses of the years and through the development and the training of Mike McCarthy and his staff, he helped elevate Aaron Rodgers. And it's crazy that people would sit back and say to themselves, the reason why Aaron Rodgers wins is because of Mike McCarthy. If you go back and check out the documentary My Brother from Another Mother made, Aaron Rodgers, he had Mike McCarthy, he had the Aaron Brooks, he broke down Brett Favre. This is a Courier Media's documentary. Check it out. Type in AKOYE Media, and you will see that documentary. I couldn't say it any better than how he exhibited and put it out there for the universe to see. We need people to help grow people. We want people to help develop and elevate people, not just by chances. Yes, indeed. Shout out to you all, man. Shout out to you, Jordan K., Randy, and Ernesto. Really appreciate you for tuning in. Cole, really appreciate you as well. And Jonathan, man, I really appreciate you all for tuning in to the nation, man. I really do, man. We probably do a call-in show next week, whereas I can get you guys' opinions, get you guys' thoughts and these sorts of things. Hopefully, I'll have everything back up, and I got to do a lot of work of putting this installment back into this system here. Shout out to Streamlabs for ruining this thing, because I got to put in so much work. I think he helped Brett Favre out as well. This is from Bob W. Yes, he did. Brett Favre collective best years was when Mike McCarthy helped him out, you see. And trust me, that game in 2007, I think that they would have made it to the Super Bowl, but Brett Favre went to Brett Favre ways, and he threw all of those god doggone interceptions against the Giants. Because at the end of the day, I was thinking that, hey, Cowboys, we beat up the Giants, we played the Green Bay Packers, we in the Super Bowl. But it didn't happen that way. We had home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Remember that? And remember this, Cowboy Nation? Brett Favre never won a game in Texas Stadium, so I'm sitting there like, yes, you see. But we end up getting our butts handed to us in 2007. But that's water under the bridge, right? Garrett always bounces back with another 8-8. This is from Jordan K. Yeah, we'll see what he's gonna do. And this is crazy because this will be an even year for Jason Garrett, right? Yes, man. Yes. All right, so Nick Blue, what's good, man? I know I woke you up, man. Shout out to you, Daniel. Really appreciate you. Torres in the house, man. I see you, fam. Salute, bro. Ruben, what's good with you, man? Thank you for tuning in. The Gip, really appreciate you, man. Y'all hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button. Let's get this thing going one way or another. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. Let's get on out of here. Focus your mind, elevate your thoughts, man, to a place that you can find, and then you'll rewind to this beginning of time. Let's go. Hey, yes. No hesitation, no deviation, man. Let's get this thing. Stop procrastinating. Let's pull up that film. Let's watch something. Hit that subscribe button. Yeah. Let's get our mind right to the right direction, Cowboy Nation. Y'all hit that like button. Body slam that like button. Let's put our thoughts and our reasoning together, Cowboy Nation. It will happen. A focused mind. They say nothing different between a light bulb and a laser, right? They both are beams of light. It's just that one is more focused and concentrated than the other. Believe it or not. Hey, write this down. You know, the philosophy of the mind. In time, you will rewind to this thing that I said earlier. I said that the whole situation with the Giants and the Dallas Cowboys, they looking at it like this. I'd rather have them inside the tent pissing out than outside the tent pissing in. They know for sure that Jason Garrett got intellect. Yes, on the Dallas Cowboys. He scouted half of the players. He knows the ins and outs. He knows everything about Dak Prescott. He knows his weaknesses. He knows Ezekiel Elliott's elements too. He knows what Blake Jarwin can and can't do. So, could be one of those situations. But at the end of the day, Cowboy Nation, we just have to figure out ways, man, how to get this thing going one way or another. Because we know everything about Jason. We can hit that flip reversal and flip that thing back to everything. You guys know how I'm talking, right? All right, Cowboy Nation. We out. Peace. Yeah. 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 Appreciate you. Say, ain't no party like a cowboy party, 'cause the cowboy party don't stop. There go. Yeah. Ain't no party like a cowboy party, 'cause the cowboy party don't stop. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. We out.